name is Andrea Ortega, and today I'm going to be discussing how my plan is going. So for my learning experience plan, my plan was to take the children to the zoo and to have them look at all the different animals and make observations, and then they would have a little piece of paper and have stickers and just mark them off like bingo cards, like, oh, I saw a tiger, I saw a lion or a gorilla. And then from there, from those observations that they made, we would meet up again and then discuss what we saw by doing an illustration, and they would describe what is in the illustration, what the animal it is, what else they observed, if the animal was eating something, sleeping certain places, what their habitat looked like. So that will get them to share, to be vocal, use English vocabulary, and for students that are dual language learners, it benefits them because they do an observation, they draw a picture, and then they describe that picture in a narrative form. Now maybe they don't have complete English language, not they're inconsistent with, they have to stop and they don't know the word every time, but at least they give you something if they are able to describe what animal it is, colors, or oh, that's a bush or that's a tree. Even just using 3 words would be enough. So unfortunately, I've mentioned a couple of times, I do not work in a preschool classroom, but I do go and do observations on my focused child. So something that I would do, an alternative, because obviously I don't have the authority to be putting together field trips and taking children to the zoo, but another option would be throughout that week teaching children about insects, about worms, about different types of insects, butterflies and bumblebees and the roly-polies, and then telling them how they eat, how they live, and watching their habitats. And then we can go outside to the play area, and then they can go ahead and try and look for those animals, maybe do a little tally each time they see one, and then draw a little picture, using the same technique as the first thing I tried to implement, but instead you don't have to leave the classroom. So it's still the same concept, just different idea. Something that I know is going to be a little difficult is that not all children have the fine motor skills to be writing or drawing, illustrating. But even if that's not the point of this exercise, the point is they don't have to be, an incredible artist. What they just have to do is make sure that they pick an animal. They find an animal or insect, they draw it, they put a little leaf in there, or they put something in their illustration, and then they can talk about it to the rest of the class or to you. So they could describe, like, oh, this, and that. So they don't have to be exactly telling you. They don't have to be. It doesn't have to have a bunch of stuff on that painting or drawing. All that matters is that they're able to talk about what they put on that paper. I wish this was easier to do in a large group, but for any of you who have worked with children know that it is kind of difficult to work in bigger groups, especially with something like this. So I would say probably a ratio of maybe 6 to 8 students in the group would work, and then rotate. So that way you're able to focus on the smaller group and you don't lose track of children, and maybe they're not even doing the activity, like they're not looking for insects, or it's better to have smaller groups so that you can pay attention and make sure that it actually goes well and that they're interested and they're still engaged the entire time. And smaller groups is a better chance. You have better chances of keeping them interested that way. I think that the techniques or methods that I'm going to be using help too. I said that I was going to be using gesturing and scaffolding, so asking questions such as, what color is that animal? Oh, and what do you think they eat? What do you think they eat? And why do they eat that? Just asking them questions, and also, if they're having a little bit of trouble knowing what to, like, oh, they're eating bananas or whatever. You know, maybe they can't say banana, so you give them a little bit of a hint or a little gesture, or you say, "Oh, what are they eating?" And if they're like, "I don't know," maybe you could be like, "What's that? That's right there." "Oh, those are leaves or oats." And it's like, "Oh, well then, do you think that's what they eat?" "Oh, yeah." So, you know, then maybe they'll include that in their illustration. So, definitely those methods are gonna really give the children a better opportunity to really embrace this activity. So I would push those methods a little bit more when I'm doing this. In the future, I have to admit I'm a very nervous person, and I had a lot of trouble feeling comfortable around the children, and I feel that's because I'm nervous to mess up the activity. So I would definitely suggest that next time in the future, when I conduct activity, I hope to have enough knowledge to where I feel confidence in myself to conduct this activity and to present it to the children. And that's something I need to work on personally and professionally with more experience. So thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.